Hello folks, good afternoon from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Welcome back to the channel. Time today is not early morning, so it's gonna be plenty of noise around. Hopefully you won't be able to hear much, but time is around 1:30 p.m. here. I'm doing a couple of videos today. Early morning, I was feeling a bit tired, so I did not do a video. So let's see, the second episode, it's gonna be about 7 fragrances that I handpicked. And I think the topic is gonna be 7 most, at least from the community or Fragrantica, I've been noticing. These are some of the most hated fragrances or the DNA in Fragcomm, and they get plenty of bashing, hate, and couple of fragrances from the same company. So we'll see. I think we have about 7. So let's see one by one, and I'll let you know why, despite being the most hated, why they are top sellers. So most hated yet top sellers. This is going to be the topic, and you can argue, you can let us know the opinion, but more or less, I think these fragrances, some of them are victim of their own success. Okay, that's a popular term. Let's go one by one. First fragrance, Lamal. Okay, some people say Lamal. I don't like saying it like that, even if it's Lamal. I mean, I did not hear it from American reviewers or people who speak English. Maybe we're all wrong, but Lamal sounds nice, like Lamal, you know. So if it's Lamal, you say it however you like it. So Jean Paul Gaultier's this fragrance, this is a Christmas edition, basically the same fragrance. It's just a beautiful looking bottle in Christmas. A limited edition, which comes with nice globe and snowflakes and all that. So this fragrance, when it was released, there was a huge crowd who loved it, and this other polar opposite, they hated it because it's so loud, obnoxious back in the days. And this fragrance, they said it's too sweet, it's too playful, and it's too obnoxious. That's the main term they used, and it is too loud, and that's it, right? So despite all that, this fragrance became a top seller. And Francis Kurkdjian, I mean, like, he made a masterpiece here, basically. And many men love this perfume because of how strongly it performs, how masculine it smells. It has this mint play and the opening, and it goes like kind of fresh in the opening, but dry down goes vanilla, tonka beans, like lavender, all this play. This perfume really is still selling. I don't know how come this one is hated so much, but the ones they hate, I think perhaps they hate it because it's too popular and they smell it everywhere. Women sometimes hate this fragrance because it smells like their ex, because back in the days, there are not that many fragrances which were huge. So everybody, let's say a guy who broke her heart, or maybe he was like a playboy, and then, he just broke her heart. He used to wear this. So she would tell you, like next boyfriend or whoever, like, hey, don't wear that fragrance. I hate it. It reminds me of my ex. So perhaps these reasons, but I think this is still a top seller. Did not really take down the fragrance's success. People still buy this in shopping mall. The loyal customers, they do not buy the flankers like Ultra Male, Superman, in the Navy, whatever they have. This is the most beloved from the line, I think, from Lamal lovers. And I think Mark loves this fragrance a lot. For me, I'm okay with it. I wear it once in a while, and it does perform very well. So it is a good fragrance for me. Still is relevant. Lamal by Jean Paul. Next one, I think, is many people gonna laugh. And I ordered a backup bottle because my bottle is almost finishing. This is called CIDEM. Everybody knows this bottle. Some people say this is the ugliest bottle ever. And when I saw it for the first time, I could not disagree more. I mean, could not agree more, because the shape of this bottle is not really nice. And this is the EDP. I'm talking about basically the EDT. But I think EDP is better in terms of value, more polished, longer lasting. The perfume and limited editions are the best. And then the Precio is the best of the line. So if you go higher in terms of pricing, you get better quality CDNIM. So CIDEM, Club de Nuit Intense Man by Armaf, is a notorious fragrance. When I started my journey in somewhere 2015-16, this fragrance was creating waves. There are so many people said, wow, this is a perfect replacement for Creed's Aventus. It smells like that. It's a smoky batch as well, like with that silver sprayer and all that. And also it was very cost effective. So many people loved it. But then other side, who are Creed fanboys, they absolutely jumped on it and hated it. Some reviewer actually burnt up the bottle. Crazy things happen. So this fragrance is something I'm not very big fan of from the beginning. Okay, I like the dry down, I like the performance, but at no point I felt this was a better fragrance than Aventus. Yes, better than in this one I like is I think Lavender by Al Haramain, and also Afnan Supremacy Not Only Intense. Those two are very nice. But this thing, it gets still the most hate because this one started the trend, and people hate to admit that this fragrance DNA is stealing you know, the glory of Aventus. Got stuck. I don't know. So this thing is hated because of the synthetic opening. The lemon is kind of a bad, and I do agree with that. That now they have made much better, you know, like opening. I like it. I like it. It's more fruity and it's not as synthetic, like floor cleaning material like. But this thing is a very beast mode performer. Prices have gone high. You have to pay sometimes $85 up to for the limited edition. 200 mls are about 65, 70. So it's not the cheapest thing, but definitely much cheaper than Creed and makes so much more sense, better longevity. So this thing sells like hotcake in Bangladesh. So you let me know in your country how this one sells. This one I feel is one of the most hated, but yet sells a lot. Club Dream Intense, man. Number three, I'm going to show you. Perhaps many of you will see and then say, yes, this is the one that's most hated, but it's not. I'll show you. This is Paco Rabanne Phantom, and this brand is the brand to hate. I understand. I notice it, and it's my personal observation. People love to poop on this brand. Anything that's being released, anything Paco Rabanne, people go like even before it's released. I noticed when this was being released, not even hitting the super stores or shopping malls. People said this is synthetic garbage. How do you know? I mean, yes, from the notes breakdown or guessing, you cannot say, but people assume, you know, it's because they hate this brand. So that thing happened, but this thing is a top seller. Believe it or not, I bought the Parfum, the black bottle, better than this, but this is very loud, very sweet, very loud, kind of like a candy, kind of got these green elements. It is a modern, not barber shop, but there's a green touch to it, which makes it very obnoxious. So this thing is sweet, definitely. When I wear this, this is definitely for the younger generation. People who are above 30, they will hate this DNA. They'll be like, this thing doesn't suit my personality. I would not wear this. I rather wear Sauvage Elixir. See, polar opposites, right? So this thing is one of the most hated, but not the most hated just yet. But this thing in Bangladesh, sometimes I saw some of the shopping malls, they are sold out. Okay, because people like this robot, and it is kind of playful. Some people who are serious about the perfume, they hate this bottle design. So I think, yeah, many things attribute to that, but I think this perfume is not bad, but not my most favorite also. But it's playful, like going out clubbing, and yet it sells a lot. Paco Rabanne Phantom. Now number four, this one is interesting. This one I've only sampled. I never bought a full bottle, which is this perfume called Bakarat Rouge. And this perfume, I had this sample, I think for 8 years or 7 years, I'm not sure, around there. This fragrance or this DNA, it has this cotton candy smell with that orange and how to say, it's a lot of sugary notes. You know, sugary notes, people hate sweet perfumes, and it is like true for many. Some people cannot stand sweet fragrances, some people cannot stand fresh perfumes. If you hate sweet fragrance, this is as sweet as it gets. Okay, I hardly found any perfume that is sweeter than Bakarat Rouge, and its DNA is like Mancera's was the fragrance Instant Crush, and I have Al Haramain, Amber Oud, Rouge, Ruby Edition. Many companies actually copy this, and Aventus are the two most copied DNA in fragrance community because they sell a lot. Every company, legit, Middle Eastern, clone, everybody make their version of Bakarat Rouge. So I think this is one of those fragrances. It's a victim of its own success. On its own, this fragrance, see my review back in the days, Bakarat Rouge, EDP, Extrait de Parfum. I said this perfume is so close to my heart. There was a time I wanted this one and Grand Soir 200 ml bottles, but the prices are ridiculous. I think they're way overpriced for what they are, but very good quality fragrance. I really feel it is one of those classic DNA, but it's just overplayed at this point. All these fragrances you're going to see here today are overplayed. That is one of the reasons why they are hated so much. So Bakarat Rouge, some people just hate it because it's a kind of feminine. It's not the most masculine. It's to each his own, but I think this fragrance is nice and it sells still a lot despite being very expensive. This is a very crowd favorite, Bakarat Rouge. Now top three I can tell you two are from Paco Rabanne, and they are, you guys can guess what they're gonna be, but one is also a Dior fragrance. So number three, I feel 1 million. Paco Rabanne 1 million is also hated a lot in the community because again it's sweetness. Okay, this fragrance, when it was out, this was the top seller. Everybody wanted this perfume, super expensive back then. um, only handful can wear. If you see Rob Zoid's review, he described this as one of the most unique fragrances somewhere when it was released, and he was the superstar in his area, in the village or small town. If you enter, nobody smells like this, and they go wow because of his huge projection, performance, and the gold bar kind of bottle made it as like a top seller. So there's a one bottle called Absolutely Gold that has the full golden color bottle. Amazing. Okay. So these fragrances, 1 million, are all sweet except one or two, like the Privé one, and if I'm not mistaken, the Royal, and then one Middle Eastern exclusive. These are more like sophisticated version of 1 million, but to me, this thing is very loved and very hated. Okay, just like Lamal. So this thing is a top seller. Make no mistake. Okay, this thing still sells. People who do not know about perfumes, they go to a shop, say, I want 1 million. I don't want any other perfume. Okay, I have seen it firsthand. Like old uncles, okay, they have been using this for, let's say, 10-15 years or more. They go and say, I don't want to see Eros, I don't want to see black excess, I want this one. Okay, so this thing is very big, top seller in Bangladesh. People bring it in the shops and they get sold out. Okay, Baccarat 1 million still very popular. Do let me know what you feel about this one. I love it a lot. This is one of my signature scents. Okay, that one got blood orange, leather, lot of sweetness. What else was there? I forgot the notes. So anyway, the blood orange I remember is very, and the leather, very beautiful, sweet perfume. Second last one is gonna be Dior Sauvage. Okay, this thing people hated. I also did not love this from the beginning. When it was released, I went to shopping mall, seeing all the hype, and this was, I think, the most hype fragrance in the community. Jeremy and the most commercial reviewers, they said this is number one. It's a must buy. It's number one, always number one in people's like content. Other reviewers used to make like those, like younger folks who used to go like with the girls. Hey, what do you think of this? And girls say, wow, I love Dior Sauvage. Sorry, I had to do that. That's not how girls talk, but sometimes it's like when they make it a comical sort of a interview, and it's staged, it sounds like, yeah, I just love that. I love Dior Sauvage. So I saw those and I went to shopping mall and tested, and I sprayed it. This was under $100, of course, expensive Dior release. And I sprayed. I did not see what is so special about this. This was the worst smelling Dior, I think. Not worst smelling, like the most ordinary smelling. Let's put it like that. It did not smell like 400 ringgit or $100 worth like Dior. Dior's are Eau Sauvage, Dior Intense, Fahrenheit, Dior's Higher, Dior's Dune. As opposed to that, you have Sauvage. And this has nothing to do with Dior Eau Sauvage, which is a much, much better, beautiful, lemony perfume. This one has Calibre and Bergamot, but more sweet. And they went into blooded Chanel direction. But believe it or not, the hype worked. Everywhere Dior Sauvage got sold out, and then they released EDP, Parfum, Elixir, and I think the very cool spray. This thing and Elixir are the two top sellers. The Parfum and EDP was not top seller; they're kind of flops. So this thing is still selling. It's no longer the same formulation, not as strong as before, but it still does it. Gets its job done. Like 6-7 good hours you can get from Dior Sauvage. 200 ml is now very expensive, but the bottle is iconic. The company definitely is the name, brand name. That's why it sells. And the big reason is Johnny Depp, the face behind it. So do let me know if you feel you hate it, love it. I think I love Bleu de Chanel more than this, but Dior Sauvage is one of the most hated fragrances in the community. Last but not least, my most favorite and people's most hated, Paco Rabanne Invictus. This perfume, how many times I talked about it? Many, many times. And I will tell you one thing, Paco Rabanne Invictus, there are good reasons for people to hate it. First thing, the trophy. The gold bar of 1 million is not as bad as this, or let's say Moschino, Toy Boy, that bear, or even the Paco Rabanne Phantom. They are all very childish bottles, but this is the worst in terms of like the bottle design. It's like a trophy. And and it has this kind of sprayer here, but this fragrance is very sweet, and it's louder than when 1 million in certain way. It has this aquatic take, like I think bay leaf note. It is kind of like mineral like, kind of like seaside sweet perfume. This thing works all year round. Even the new formulation lasts a long time. I think, yeah, it's been a while since I sprayed it. Did not want to spray. So yeah, when I smell it, I'm a big fanboy of Invictus. I am on the maybe minority side, but I'll tell you what, one fragrance does everything for you. You don't need any other perfume. This is one fragrance. If you want good performance, good like projection, this is it. If you want compliments, hate it to admit it, but truth is, many of your niche perfumes don't get compliments or even notice. People hate some niche fragrance because they're too daring. Oud, this thing is the fragrance people hate to admit it, but this is the one that pulls compliment from ladies. Women love Invictus. So yeah, some of the other flankers, they're great. I do love the Elixir the most, but this is the one that gets most hate. Okay, so number one that gets the most hate but most sales also, Invictus, one of the most successful perfumes in, I think, history. For me, it's a top seller everywhere. Okay, so do let me know what you feel about this list. Sorry about the long video, but just wanted to do this. Just the idea came to my mind, and I think it has been done before, but that's just my 2 cents. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching, and do leave a comment what you feel about this list. Take care. Bye bye.